are you worthy of being here? Is this like are you going to still carry on when I give you loads of views? Are you going to carry on when I take them all away?
So what you're suggesting is there might be some people that find consistency easy when everything's going well.
Yeah.
And consistency hard when things are not going so well.
And it is. It's really easy when things are going well. It's all the people that say, I'm not going to start doing the self-employed thing because nothing's perfect. It's like, okay, when was the last time anything in your life was perfect?
Yeah, so true.
Like,
Waiting for the perfect time.
I had my September month was perfect. I couldn't believe every day I was waking up, I was making more money than I've ever made in my life. I was getting more views than I've ever had in my life. I was more fulfilled than I've ever been in my life. But I realized that all of that was really just fake. It wasn't really real. It was my interpretation of the scenario. The fundamental work was still exactly the same. It was just the numbers at the end of the day. That's it. The fundament, like, was I making a video or was I not? This podcast, very excited thing that we started last year. I can bring that mindset to the podcast and can say, whether or not the videos get millions of views or not, the fundamental activity of us making the videos is the same. We are doing the dream now.
We are.
And that is incredibly exciting.
Nice. So consistency is the habit or system that's accounted for most of your success.
Yeah.
I like it, man.
For you.
Courage.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to become someone I've never been and overcome problems I've always been struggling with. So to become someone you've never been or to go somewhere you've never been requires courage and bravery. It took courage to show up every Tuesday evening for therapy. Not just to show up, but to be present, to be open, to be ready to have the difficult conversation, to catch yourself when you're lying, to call yourself out on your bullshit, to listen to opposing views, to question automatic negative thoughts. Dr. Daniel Amen says that. Ants, automatic negative thoughts. Courage has accounted for most of my success. Because this year has been, or the year just gone rather, has been quite transformative. But without the courage to step into the uncomfortable nature of the world, or the uncomfortable nature of change, I would not have become or allowed myself to become this version of myself. And I know I'm not finished, but then arguably, when is anyone ever going to be finished? No situation is ever going to be perfect, so navigate with the best environment you've got. But maybe 2 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to say, I kind of like who I am, whereas now I feel like I can. And I think that's courage. That's taken a lot of time to get there. And again, it was courage to question thoughts and patterns that kept me safe. I think I've said I've had 3 different negative coping mechanisms throughout my life, which has been like travel, which has been just running away, like weed, which has just been ignoring, and self-harm. And it took courage to look at all of those, understand what they were serving and what they were keeping safe, and push them away. And I know there's still courage that requires moving on to the next steps, and that's kind of where I'm at now, but courage and bravery, man.
Nice. Well, I celebrate you.
I appreciate that. Thank you for using my words. You're never going to let that drop, are you?
I think you've come a very long way. I think it did take a lot of courage for you to go through all that and come out the other side and still be a happy chappy.
I try and be a happy chappy. I always try and give the facade that I'm a very laid back happy chappy.
You pull it off very well.
I know I do.
Maybe you actually are that person.
Maybe this is something I've got to think about, is maybe I am just the person I think I'm pretending to be. Maybe if I stop trying to pretend to be that person, I would just be that person. One of life's mysteries.
Mm.
Are you the person you're pretending to be? Or are you pretending to be that person? Okay, so this next question is a 2-parter.
Okay.
So I'll give you the first, and then I'll give you the second right after, but you can think about them both. What are the most valuable ways I spend my time? How can I find more time for this? What are the most valuable ways I spend my time? How can I find more time for this?
I think genuinely one of the most valuable ways I spend my time is hanging out with friends. It's rejuvenating. I enjoy it. There's no pressure. I don't do it often. How often do we hang out as friends in the group?
It's become less frequent, unfortunately.
Once a month tops.
Yeah, there's been a little bit of a splintering in our group, I think.
But I find those times really important and I enjoy them and it gets me out. It's one of the only times I don't think about work. I might be talking about work, but I'm not stressing about it. It's how do I make more time for that? Sending the message. Literally that. I can fit. I'm very lucky and I'm very aware of this. It's not lost on me that not a lot of people can just decide to want to hang out with friends and then fit their work around that. Most people have to fit their friends around their work. I'm very flexible in terms of where I can spend my time and who I can spend it with. And still in 2025, I chose to just work. I chose to not prioritize that. And I think maybe the fact that I did that, for every strong movement in one direction, there's always a counterculture. For me, putting loads of time and effort into work has made me realize that actually the counter to that is no, you need to spend some time with some friends. And acknowledging its importance and really valuing it as it's happening.
You can only understand the value of something once you are without it.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunately one of life's cruelest lessons. You never quite know what you have until it's gone. What value do you think it would bring to your life or to anyone's life, improving the friendships that they have in their life?
Freedom of thought.
Interesting.
When you aren't in contact with friends that you trust and allow you to be yourself, you think down one train line, if you like. You're on that train of thought. When you get people around you whose opinions you trust, that is stretched out. And you can maybe then simultaneously see 3 train lines at the same time. And that perspective, it almost spreads the stress across 3 different... The load is spread. It's very important to do that.
Problem shared is a problem halved.
Yeah. And it never means the problem's solved, but it does lower the burden.
So I think you've touched on it, but I want a more clearer defined answer. I apologize, I'm pushing you on it, but how can I find more time for this?
Work less.
Do you think you're going to be able to do that?
I want to say yes. I want to say yes a lot. I think I'm making inroads to that, into like going to the gym. If I make that part of my habit, I find that I run into friends. Like I bumped into Josh yesterday at the gym. I then bumped into Esme, who is somebody else that I know from the tennis club.
Well, I think we went to the gym together a few nights back and we bumped into 2 of our friends, all training individually.
Yeah.
We have a very active friendship group and we all near enough train at the same gym.
Yeah. So I think by doing that, I will be doing it because I'm automatically then, it's an hour and a half, 2 hours out of my day that I'm not working.
Do you think you could find ways to bring friendship into shared experiences? So I know obviously we've started this, which is awesome. This is very much business, personal, mixed in together. But we go to the gym together. You know, it's a shared thing that we can do together, that we can enjoy doing. We're bettering ourselves, we're pushing ourselves, we're holding each other accountable. Do you think you could find ways to have shared experiences with people? Because it doesn't just have to be your day stops. You just sit. Like, I quite like the sitting in a coffee shop. I actually prefer sitting or going for a walk and having a coffee. But if that stunts your day, maybe you can find ways to have meaningful connections with your friends while doing something.
Yeah, like going to the gym or rock climbing we've done before.
Yep.
Driving range could be a good one. Bowling we did on my birthday. That was good fun.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd love to do... I think there's a stat, isn't there? Guys prefer to do activities as a first date because it allows them to open up and there's a competitive nature. It's like, I think it's the same with friendship groups. And and especially with our friendship group where we're all quite active naturally. We're the sportier type. I think, yeah, it's a good idea, and I think that's probably a way that I'll do it.
Nice, man.
For you, what do you wish you'd allowed more time for this year?
So what are the most valuable ways I spend my time, and how can I find more time for this?